Now let's be real. And I'm going to speak on it because he been speaking. And I don't respect him no more.
Suge?
At all.
No.
Right? Not zero. You know what I mean? You can't respect a man. I paid for this man mama's funeral, bro. I sent a motherfucking wire. Understand what I'm saying? At a time that we wasn't even talking and getting along, but out of pure respect that he was who he was. And he opened a few doors for me. Not doors that created it, but the fact that he would open them, if I went in, wasn't nothing there, so be it. He opened it. And for me to hear recordings of this man saying, I'm the reason why he got 28 years, like I'm the motherfucker that was driving the truck, it's crazy.
No, he said that.
No, he said that. You didn't hear it. It's on the internet. It's everywhere.
Well, why is he taking blame to you?
So he says that.
What up, YouTube? It's Coffee, back again with another one, man. And there's a lot going on in this blog right here. WACK100, the ultimate finesser. I don't know how you would want to categorize WACK100, the way he moves. It's type funny style. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments, how you would refer to Mr. Wack, Mr. Cash Jones. But you hear him. He was back on DJ Akademiks podcast, did another episode. We know he did the episode with 6ix9ine. What was that? A couple months ago. As the WACK100 6ix9ine Akademiks relationship continues to grow and flourish.
Is it fair if somebody describes you at this point as managing 6ix9ine?
No, I'm more of a business partner. Now, I've been having, a few things that popped up where I had to assist him with, but I'm just more of a business partner. You know what I mean? There's a few artists that I manage, like I'm responsible for their day-to-day. I don't give a fuck what I'm doing, if my mom in the hospital or whatever. I'm responsible.
It's kind of odd in that clip there when Ak asked Wack, yo, how would you, refer to your guys' relationship? The business that y'all got going down. Are you his manager? And he's like, oh, we're partners. I mean, am I tripping, or are we in another dimension? Are we in the Twilight Zone, or did WACK100 not go all over social media, Clubhouse, after the interview with 6ix9ine on the Akademiks platform, the inaugural episode of Wack, or first premiere, whatever you want to call it, first episode of the Akademiks podcast was the WACK100 6ix9ine sit down. And then shortly after that, he was all over, like I said, social media, Clubhouse, everywhere, announcing that he was indeed 6ix9ine's manager, and that he indeed had lined up $35 million worth of business for 6ix9ine, movies, performances, all kinds of BS he was talking about was going down. And he was saying he was his manager then, but now it's a partnership. So if anything, it seems kind of like Wack needs 6ix9ine more than 6ix9ine needs Wack. It's odd. I mean, listen, hate or love 6ix9ine, and I'm not trying to support or stick up for 6ix9ine in any way. But a lot of people feel that there's a bag behind the guy, and WACK100 was the one within the industry that was like, yo, I'm going to get plugged in, tap in with 6ix9ine and try and get to this bag, He's seen all the controversy in different ways. He could tap into 6ix9ine's story and what he has going on to do podcasts and different, appearances and whatnot. I mean, we know this is what WACK100 has been all about. I've pointed this out a billion times since he kind of pulled up on this digital internet scene by socking out Stitches. He seized the opportunity when, Stitches approached the game, hit him with that sucker punch, and WACK100, the internet superhero, was born. Controversy, dissing people, lining up fades left and right on the gang this, on the gang that, but not really ever getting into anything except for them couple white dudes out there in Quartz Hill or whatever that place was called that pulled up on Wack. Oh, yeah, we can't forget about J-Rock socking him out and putting him to sleep. But other than that, it's been a bunch of, him promising to knock everyone down on his gang, and nothing really happened. But controversy has been what this dude has thrived through in this internet space that he cares very much about. Don't get it twisted, guys. WACK100 can talk about all the business that he's done and is continuing to do and all the artists he manages and whatnot and act like, small thing to a giant. I got all this stuff going down, but believe this. He very, very much cares about what goes on online. I've pointed it out to y'all before. I have videos that had less than 100 views that WACK100 started DMing me talking shit about. Like, this guy pays attention to all this stuff so closely. And we know this. I've went through this on other videos, and I'm not going to jump all back into it on this one again. But I'm sure y'all have seen those videos on my main channel. But that's besides the point. Talking about controversy, what do you guys think of this controversy with Suge Knight?
I told you I'm doing my movie shit last time I talked to you, and I told you I want you involved in it. But I'm not fucking with that trucker dude. That dude lied on every aspect. He can lie, man. The fool told me he had a legal beagle, had me talk to the legal beagle. He never took care of the legal beagle, so I was blessed enough to go in there and work me a deal on my own. At the last minute, they came in off me and had to jump on it because this fool left me dry, Trying to make sure a nigga get 100 years with elbow or something. And then when I talk to the other motherfuckers, they think he's from the hub, but he ain't from the hub. So he uses, but he don't fuck with nobody,
And Suge don't run us out here, bro. Let's get that straight.
Oh my God.
Wack, let him talk.
I told you, Wack. Listen, I just want you to hear this.
Fuck out of here. Suge don't run us out here. Blood on pop.
No, I respect that, but you was down with him, bro. You rep that.
Nigga, why you think I was down with him?
Yo, Wack, come
That's
on.
part of your.
Is wild. If you guys pay attention, that clip there from Suge, I believe, is what WACK100 was referring to when he says he doesn't respect him no more. He acts like, Wack said he acts like I was the one driving the truck, like I'm the reason he got all them years. And if you pay attention, I think Wack is tight about all this because, in a sense, prior to socking out stitches, that was how Wack jumped into this internet age. And like I said, WACK100, the internet star, was born. But prior to that, just to even try to get his foot in the hip hop world came through Suge Knight. Like, Suge Knight, in a sense, birthed WACK100. We've heard it from 40 Glock. We've heard it from Spider Loke. We've heard it from Nina Boy. We've heard it from a lot of people. Suge Knight was more or less, WACK100 was more or less a Suge Knight tag along. And when Suge Knight was locked up before, he was hanging around the Death Row 2.0, the Row era, as like a security individual. And that was where he kind of watched a lot of things going on and learned how to do business within the industry and network and make different connections and stuff like that. Get plugged in with Koch at that time, now known as E1. That's where WACK100 lined up all those different business relationships. And for him to just kind of shit on Suge Knight here, I mean, he did say, Suge opened some doors for me, but he was sitting here trying to big up his interactions with Suge over Suge's interactions with him, if y'all feel what I'm saying. Like, you guys heard him. He said that whole, he act like I was driving the truck comment, and rest in peace to Terry Carter. We all know what went down on the set of that Straight Outta Compton movie. Suge kept pulling up, wanting to talk with Dr. Dre. There was reports that him and Dre were going to squash the beef, as shortly before that Snoop and Suge had squashed the beef, but things went left. You know what I'm saying? Bone ended up putting the pause on Suge and hit the real quick side conversation. As we know, when it came to the court and everything like that, Bone wouldn't testify. There were only two victims. You know what I'm saying? Terry Carter, who once again passed away, R.I.P., and Bone. His leg was flucked up. I think he couldn't walk, was in a wheelchair for quite some time. But he wouldn't testify. But he did let it be known that he put the pause on Suge. And, the main evidence, obviously, was the video surveillance where we saw Suge do what he did. And, they were trying to kind of claim Suge was fearing for his life, trying to flee the scene. That accompanying with the fact that Bone wouldn't testify against Suge, but did want it to be known to authorities that he whooped Suge's ass. I was wondering for the longest time, like, man, could Bone go down for this? You know what I mean? Because if they're arguing he was fleeing the scene, fearing for his life, you know, could Bone saying and admitting that he was the aggressor in the situation, you know, excuse Suge trying to flee the scene and then put the responsibility on everything that happened and say that it was Bone's fault? I mean, we know things didn't play out that way, but I just remember when it was all going down, I was like, damn, man. Bone didn't want to testify against Suge. Why was he telling the police he beat Suge's ass? You know what I mean? But anyways, that was just a side convo. Getting back to what we're talking about here, it's clear WACK100's feelings were hurt because in that audio where Suge was kind of taking some shots at Wack and saying, you know, yeah, I ain't fucking with that trucker dude no more. Because we know before WACK100, the death row security guard or death row Suge Knight tag along, or WACK100, the internet 100 ENT superhero who manages the game, Blueface, 6ix9ine, Coyote for Hire, and all these other guys. WACK100 was a trucker. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I let you guys know all the time. Jay Coffee Talks a square, a nerd. I just, you know, blog on what I'm interested in, music, news, sports, and more. I love hip hop. So don't think I'm trying to diss Wack and act like I'm a G. I let y'all know all the time I'm a square, yo. I'm snitching if it comes to it. Block it, you know what I mean? But Wack, it seems that he's so high on the horse these days, you know, feeling himself so heavy. He doesn't like the fact that Suge is referencing to the trucker WACK100. You know what I'm saying? And yo, we all know Wack. What happens in the bunk stays in the bunk. Those secrets ain't coming out. But come on, man. Like, you know, for you to sit here and act like you did all this big shit for Suge, but yeah, Suge kind of opened the door for me. It's like, come on, man. You would have never been on the scene if it wasn't for Suge Knight. You know what I'm saying? And as far as some of the other stuff Suge was saying about, you know, he came and seen me in jail and this, that, and the third. He was supposed to help out with my legal situation and all this other stuff. And since then, WACK100 has taken to the gram and posted these conversations that he had with an attorney where they're talking about meeting up with Suge Knight and having him sign all this legal paperwork and bring in contracts and everything. If you remember, way back once upon a time when Suge was still sitting in jail and Wack was going and seeing him, Wack was bragging on the internet that he was going to bail Suge Knight out. Like, everyone was getting on his ass for it, trolling him, and he was like, watch, he'll be home Thursday. And you see in his conversation with this attorney that it seems he was supposed to get bailed out. There was an investor involved, and they were talking about the movie rights. But when it was all said and done, WACK100 got online and was bragging that he acquired the rights to Suge Knight's story for the movie rights, but the bail never went down. So it seems to me, and if you look at that conversation, there's a lot of times where the attorney is messaging back to WACK100. Like, Wack put this up as proof that he tried to do right by Suge. But you can clearly see on there that the attorney was having to hit Wack up back to back. And there was, you know, gaps in him responding. And it just kind of makes me wonder. And it seems like to me that WACK100 drug his feet a little bit, didn't really want to see Suge Knight get bailed out, and, you know, just wanted to get them movie rights, which I don't even know if that ever really worked out, if he did get the movie rights. I remember Ray J was bragging about he had him at one point. I think that's when he was actually mad at Wack, but I don't know. It's just something clearly happened when Suge was locked down. You know what I mean? Him and Wack were talking, and based on the way, you know, the fact that he didn't get bailed out when, like I said, Wack was bragging that Suge was coming home and that he was getting them movie rights, and it didn't happen. And then Suge disputing the fact who had the movie rights, it seems something went down where Suge feels taken advantage of, and Wack didn't follow through on what he was supposed to do. I mean, it's not that hard to read between the lines. Check out these Instagram posts if you need to get a closer look at them, you know, these messages. Pause the video or just go over to Wack's IG and peep it out. But I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny style, the way he's shitting on Suge Knight. It just shows what an egomaniac WACK100 is, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I said, this guy sweats what bloggers, you know, small-time bloggers are saying about him. It almost like paints the picture so clearly of why he tapped in with Akademiks and is linking up with 6ix9ine, to tap into all that controversy and to get him a favorable place within this blogosphere. You know what I mean? Like, how else can you, what better way to control the blog and internet narrative of what's said about you than to tap in with DJ Akademiks and get on his good side? And we see DJ Akademiks posting shit about, you know, clowning around about he's getting extorted by WACK100, you know, posting all these little different things about the interview that they had. Like, you can clearly tell Akademiks is team Wack to the fullest, you know. And it's funny too, there's a clip about WACK100 that Akademiks tweeted out about a brief clip from this interview, how they kicked the preacher out of the funeral proceedings or whatever for his homie Lil Piru. And no, we're not talking about the Mr. Wallenbeck, Zachary Wallenbeck, who was exposed by 1090 Jake among a lot of other people. Not that Lil Piru, some other dude. But WACK100 even called this guy up to get him on the phone and say, yo, we escorted him out of the pulpit. Like, he has to remind us that he's that real. You know, like he's kicking preachers out of funerals and shit like that. And getting him on the jack on Akademiks podcast to confirm it all. I don't know, man. It's all kind of funny style to me. And I'm telling you guys, if you really continue to read between the lines, think about all the people that WACK100 used to try to name drop the most to solidify his realness. Suge Knight. And don't forget too, on here, Suge Knight was pointing out that WACK100 often, you know, tried to give people he tried to infer that he was from Compton, the hub. That's what Suge was talking about when he said he acts like he's from the hub city and he's not. You know, to try to gain favorable momentum off that. He also was constantly name dropping Big U all the time. And since we've seen kind of Suge tap in from jail and say WACK100's no good, we've seen Big U kind of put out some statements, not necessarily dissing WACK100, but saying more or less, you know, back in the past, he used to say that WACK100's extra out antics, that's just all entertainment. Y'all got to stop getting caught up in that, to actually flat out like saying, yo, I ain't fucking with that shit that Wack's saying, and letting it be known that he took issue and was actually upset with WACK100 for his extra out antics. And don't forget for a second the way Clay Bone Sloan, you know, the conversations we heard about him, what he had to say about Wack. And what am I trying to say when I'm bringing all this up is, you know, I'm just kind of trying to highlight this timeline and make it clear to y'all that Wack made sure on Akademiks podcast to go in on Suge this way, because what Suge's saying here, and he's thinking, you know, Suge don't really have a voice anymore because he's locked up. It's kind of the last reminder of, you know, who WACK100 really is, minus all this internet momentum and blogosphere momentum that he built around himself. Suge's a reminder of how it all really got started, and you know, who he can really thank for getting these business relationships going. And things like that don't sit well with the narcissist and an egomaniac, if you feel me. And real quick, guys, never forget, Suge Knight played another part. We heard the story from 40 Glock. Spider Lokes talked about it too. You know how Wack always kept trying to throw Spider Lokes' name in it, but it was really 40 Glock, you know, who, when they had Game hemmed up, I think it was on Sunset or Hollywood Boulevard or wherever the fuck it was. And when Game had to put in that distress call, Suge Knight was who he called. And when Suge Knight showed up, WACK100 was with him. And, you know, they got 40 Glock and his homies to give him a pass. And through that, Wack was able to start this friendly extortion, you know, obtaining the game's management rights, managing the game, and starting this friendly extortion, which he's kept going. It's all done through dirt and foulness, you know what I'm saying? So Suge not only helped him get all these business relationships and networking going way back from the Death Row 2.0 area, where, you know, Suge was just an Wack was just an armband security guy. Suge helped Wack get his foot in the door in that way and in extorting the game. you know? So it's really wild when you think about it. But that's how it goes in this internet era, you know what I mean? And this is all just coming from a square who keeps up on everything going on, you know, keeps up on the music, the sports, the news, and all that different stuff. And I'm just giving y'all my take on this. So you guys hit the comments. Let me know what you think about all this. I thank y'all for watching. Man, it's really crazy though, right? Wack, 6ix9ine, Akademiks out here, you know, taking over. Well, not taking over the blogosphere, because I don't think one person for certain can ever run the whole, you know, blog internet world. But, you know, to really relying heavy on that relationship that he has with Ak and 6ix9ine. It's crazy if you sit back and just kind of, you know, draw up a diagram and look at the way everything's went. WACK100 has really, really try to play this like some Bobby Fischer chess moves. And, you know, Suge Knight is a reminder of who Cash WACK100 Jones really is. And fucking Wack hates that. He really doesn't like that. You know what I mean? He done got lost in the sauce and caught up in all this hype about, you know, this internet persona that he has. So hit the comments. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Let me know if you watched the whole episode. Let me know if you, caught that trucker comments too. And, you know, let's talk about it all in the comment thread. Thank you for watching. It's been Jay Coffee Talk with another one. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe. Pay attention, y'all. This might not be the channel that you think that you're particularly normally watching. So make sure you hit all them buttons. Join the discussion in the comments. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay tuned for many more updates. I'm out of here. Peace.